Hey, what's up, guys? Andrea17 here once again with another video. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Man, what a comeback. What a comeback. Down 26 points heading into the fourth quarter. And Atlanta basically said, nah, let's turn that. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, they turned the Sixers into an Atlanta team. Because, I mean, if you follow Atlanta sports has always been the team to kind of lose big leads. But, this time around, we're on the other side. So, a few, key takeaways that I had during the game is, one, the Sixers came out on fire. They came out rolling. But at the same time, I think we've seen that not only in this game, we saw that in the last game. We've seen that pretty much in every game besides the first game. The Sixers have come out rolling. Okay? Now, my theory is, from what I've seen, is that the Sixers come out rolling, but eventually they can't sustain that amount of energy they spend in those first 2-3 quarters, and eventually it catches up to them and they get in trouble in the fourth quarter because by that time they're already gassed out. They're gassed out. They're tired. They've been running up and down, putting so much effort. And while that's good and they're able to get these huge leads, it kind of unravels in the fourth quarter because they're out of gas, and Atlanta's a young team, right? So where the Sixers can't keep up, the Hawks can keep going. They're a young squad. So that's my theory in terms of, what's going on with the Sixers, because they've had huge leads, but obviously they've blown them. And some of them they've been able to win, and then some of them they've lost. Doc Rivers, from everything that he's been saying, it sounds to me like, I know he's been on the bad end of some bad results, but I mean, it seems like he says the right things. He's like, in mid-interview, he talked about, hey, we got to keep pushing. It's not about the next game, or it's not about, the next round. It's about the now and building the right habits. And that's 100% correct. It's all about habits. It's all about getting into these habits of winning, habits that'll lead you to winning, whether that be rebounding, defending, you name it, keeping your foot on the gas pedal, whatever it is, sharing the ball, building good habits, staying positive, stuff like that. So I can't imagine that Doc is not doing the right things. It's just the bad habits. I have to look at the 76ers and say, I don't know, bad habits and getting tired. One of those two, or a combination of the two, whatever it is. But enough about Philadelphia. Let's get to the Hawks. Trae Young, once again, stepping up big time. But before Trae Young could step up big time, Lemmy Pepper Lou came out and said, I'm going to have one of those quarters. He came out and just started making bucket after bucket. And not even that, like, he was making some plays. And I was like, man, Luke Will is looking like a point guard out there. Like, he's actually looking like a legit point guard. He's played that role before, but it hasn't been too much success. He's better at a shooting guard position. But he actually was doing some nice dimes yesterday. I was like, oh, okay, dang. Like, Luke Will, I see you. And then obviously his scoring, talks for itself. And once, we were able to get close that lead, along with the second unit that was doing some good things on the defensive end, you bring in Trae Young, and Trae Young is going to do Trae Young things. Trae Young is not just a scorer, a playmaker. He's also a very clutch player. Whenever it's in that 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter and the team's close, you can count on him to make more than miss. I'll tell you that. He's not perfect. He's going to miss some, obviously. He's not a robot. He's not a computer. But he is clutch, man. He is clutch. He just, almost like how he wants that noise from the crowd and people booing him. It almost like he feeds off of that. Well, he feeds off the fourth quarter, and in that clutch time, it's like he wants it. He knows he wants it. And you know who else supports him in that? Coach McMillan has let him know, hey, you're that guy. Go out there and do what you do. Lou Will has been on the record of saying, hey, when it's the fourth quarter and it's the last shot, I want you taking it because you're that guy. And just having that confidence from, teammates, coaches, and having that confidence in yourself and knowing, hey, if I shoot this, I might miss it, but I'm shooting it because I feel like I know I can make it. And just doing it in that type of environment with so many fans, players, game on the line, you name it, it speaks really to the toughness of this kid. He is just so tough. And I'm, as a Hawks fan, it's amazing to watch, but I'm also, in a way, very proud of, it's going to sound like I know Trae Young or something, but I'm very proud because he's fought through so much adversity. And he's really, just stood up to the moment and said, no, this moment is not big enough. It's not big. It's not bigger than I am. I'm ready to face it. And that's really that's all you can ask from a player. That's where a true superstar is formed. And he is a superstar at the highest level. Sure, there's areas that he needs to, be better at. Obviously, his height, he's not the tallest player, but he makes up for it, in other areas. I mean, if you're just so blinded by height, then you don't know basketball. You don't know modern basketball. It's not just about height. How many players you got that are like 7 feet tall, 6'5" in length and height, and they can't do much, So it's not about height. It's about everything that you can do with what you're given. Right, so he's a playmaker. Okay, he's not. Sure, the defensive end, he's always going to struggle in. Okay, if I can't impact the ball on the defensive end, let me impact it on the offensive end. Shooting these 3-point bombs, getting to the paint, drawing fouls. There's just so many ways getting players involved. Like, you really have to be less shallow about, he's a small player. Get over it, man. Like, really, widen your horizon and just know modern basketball. And there's a lot of ways to impact the game besides just height. Like, get over it. So, man, that's what I got to say about the Hawks and Trae Young. One win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Amazing to even think that. Probably going up against the Nets. I honestly think if we get there, if the Hawks get there, it'll be a much more competitive series than a lot of people think. But, let's slow a roll. Let's not get there yet. But that's my opinion on yesterday's game, on their performance. And we got one more to go. But obviously, it's not done till it's done. What is your guys' opinion? Let me know in the comment section down below. Subscribe, share. I would love to know your feedback and just talk about sports and hear your take on things. So having said that, I'll see you guys in the next video, and hopefully it's celebrating the Eastern Conference Finals. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.